It's been a long, hard-fought process trying to get this movie made. People say, well, everybody knows the story. We'd say, no, everybody doesn't know the story. They'd say, well, there's nobody in Europe's going to go see it. And I always say, well, all of my movies are very popular in Europe, so I know people go see movies with black people in them. What is the problem? People were afraid, I guess. And then when everything went down with George Floyd and the entire nation got up and said, you know what, this is really starting to agitate us and we don't like it. People started to say, oh, let's tell some black stories. And we were like, hey, we have a story for you. And fortunately for us, they allowed us to make it the way we wanted to make it. And when a studio steps back and says, do your thing, all you can do is say, thank you so much, because the outcome is magnificent. It's a beautifully made film. The actors are great. The experience was great. And no one can say that they don't know why we made it. Given the country we're living in when stories are disappearing from history books, I am Emmett's grandmother, which is a role I'm very used to playing. And she is the mother of Mamie, who says to Mamie, you have to let him go be him. You have to let him go down south and see his family. And that's something that she was felt very responsible about, because she felt if she hadn't said, listen, let him go, that it wouldn't have happened. But I like to feel that her heart was in the right place, and I hope that she didn't torture herself too much about this, because yes, she said, as we all would have said, listen, let him go see his family. Who anticipates this? No one. It's a generational story. And I feel about my daughter the way she feels about her son. And so my worries are her worries, and you have to understand, parenting is not easy. It is one of the toughest jobs in the world, because it's like you're living on loose boards. You make a step this way and then this happens, and you weren't anticipating this because you were thinking that was going to happen. So it's really about trying to do your best. And that's all everybody in the film really tries to do. Whether it's Mamie talking to Emmett and trying to instill in him what he needs to do, be small, whether it's me talking to her saying, well, who's looking out for you? And the families down south who say, I didn't have a choice. I had to do what I had to do. Parenting is not easy. So that's why I think it's important the way it's flowing in the film. Danielle, I can't even describe her perfection. She is just sublime. Her performance is sublime. It's as good as anything I've ever seen, ever. I mean, she's magnificent. Well, we got her through her rewriting of the script as she needed it to be with Keith, and sort of mixing that all together until everyone was confident in what we had. And once everyone was confident in what we had, we did what every movie does. We crossed our fingers and hoped for the best, and got beyond platinum. It's beyond platinum. It's a wonder. It's a great film. There's no other way for me to explain it. There's love, there's humor, there's angst, there's agitation, there's horror, there's all of these things that appear in life in this little film about a mother and son. He understood that he could not bring the 2021 Jalen. He had to bring Emmett, and he stepped up to the plate. He swung, and he connected. I mean, his performance also is beautiful, and that smile makes you wish that you had known Emmett. You know, makes you think, oh, maybe I would have tried to protect him. We know in those days lots of things would have happened, but you feel like you wanted to know him, you know. It was an interesting experience down to 1955, you know, and still be able to step out of it when you need to, because it can become suffocating being in the past that way, because everyone was there. Do you know what I mean? Everyone was present in their roles. So people had to like take a breath. I had to cut up, because I can't be quiet when it's that heavy. It's too much for me. So I made noise, I made jokes, you know.